Imagine standing at the edge of each new year, not just with fireworks cracking overhead, but with a question pulsing in your chest. If you could erase one event from the past 12 months, would you dare? A failed exam, a breakup, a job you never should have taken, that one fight you replay in your head like a scratched record. You'd have the power to reach back and cut it out as cleanly as deleting a line of text. But here's the twist. The moment you undo it, the universe doesn't politely stitch itself into a neater pattern. Instead, it ripples, folds, and mutates, rewriting itself with consequences no one could predict. You might wake up in a world where your heartbreak never happened, but so did the chain of events that led you to meet the friend who saved you from despair. You might undo a car accident only to discover the delay it caused had once saved you from an even worse disaster. The power is intoxicating and terrifying. Each year becomes a kind of roulette, a gamble with fate where the house rules are hidden from view. Scientists would rush to model it. Physicists would dust off chaos theory, mapping how a single tweak reverberates through the sensitive fabric of time. They'd explain that life is less like a domino line and more like a tangled spiderweb. Pluck one strand and vibrations race outward in ways impossible to forecast. Mathematicians might simulate millions of what-if branches, but even the most powerful computers couldn't predict the true outcome, because human choice and randomness weave through reality like smoke. Psychologists, meanwhile, would warn about regret addiction. If you knew each January brought the chance to undo, would you start living recklessly, relying on your annual reset? Or would you grow paralyzed, terrified of choosing wrong and facing a future worse than the one you tried to escape? The social consequences would be staggering. Imagine elections where entire populations secretly undo different events each year, leading to fractured timelines where no one remembers the same history. Families might splinter as one person's undo erases another's cherished memory. A parent could erase the day their child broke a bone, not realizing it was the same day the child discovered resilience that shaped their identity. Relationships would feel fragile, suspended in uncertainty. Was your marriage proposal accepted because it was meant to be, or because your partner had undone an earlier heartbreak that would have kept them away from you? Lovers might confess, "I erased something last year," and the air would thicken with the weight of not knowing what vanished. Economically, entire industries would bloom around this power. Insurance companies would offer undue coverage, promising compensation for outcomes that worsened after erasure. Black markets would sell memory maps of alternate timelines, trying to trace how the world might have been, like bootleg versions of reality itself. Politicians would face accusations of abusing their annual undo, scapegoats for shifts no one could prove. Stock markets would quake each New Year's Eve, bracing for millions of microscopic resets that could butterfly into global crashes or unexpected booms. Even art would transform. Films, novels, and songs might explore not just characters' choices but their undone ones, layering stories with ghostly echoes of paths never taken. On a human level, though, it's the quiet moments that would haunt you most. Sitting alone, staring at the clock before midnight, you'd weigh the year's pain like stones in your hand. Should you erase the day you lost your job, not knowing if the new version of you would ever learn resilience? Should you erase the awkward words you spoke at a funeral, or did they, in their clumsiness, become more real than perfect silence? And sometimes you'd wonder, what if you erased nothing? Would choosing to keep your scars, your stumbles, and your failures actually make you stronger than those who gamble their way through altered timelines? The pressure would be unbearable. One decision once a year holding the weight of eternity in its teeth. And then comes the darkest thought. What if the event you erased wasn't just your own? What if undoing a personal mistake snipped a thread that held the life of someone else together? What if erasing the day you were late meant someone else never survived a collision, or never met the love of their life? Suddenly, your annual gift feels less like a blessing and more like a loaded weapon you're forced to fire blindly into the past. The question lingers with a sharp, metallic taste. In a world where undoing is possible but consequences are chaos, would you be brave enough to reach backward? Or would you learn, painfully, that sometimes the most dangerous power isn't the ability to change your past, but the temptation to believe you should?